Hello, today we're going to do a product demonstration of the code enforcement module. Code enforcement is one of several what we call general government modules. And the code enforcement module shares a common database of names and addresses. So it shares the master directory name. So if your contact is in the database and they've got a utility bill or a tax bill, you're going to be able to look up that person, and you're going to be able to see information, every involvement with that particular person. So for instance, if this is my person, I can see not only their tax bills, if they've got utility bills, but if there are code enforcement violations, we're going to see those as well. And on any one of these tabs, you can drill down and get the detail. So that's one way you can access your database, is that one common database of names and addresses. We have the exact same view by property. So once again, if you want to look up an address, and you've got lots of ways to search the database, if you know the property ID, even a special alternate ID, address, legal description, owner, even how it's zoned or the map code, lots of ways to get to that property so that you can see what activity you've had at that particular property. So once again, it's the same view, only we're going to be able to see what's happened at this parcel. So if there's any code violations or permits or licenses or even utility accounts at this property. So the code enforcement, as I mentioned, is one of several general government modules. You can license just the one, and it shares the database of people and parcels. A lot of accounts have us actually bring in data from the county so that you start with a database of all your parcels and who owns it. And so that way when you need to send the letters, you know exactly who to send it to. So let's take a look at code enforcement. It's got the same look and feel. You've got the same user interface. It's like any other Microsoft product. If you need to log a support call, you can log a support call right in the software. We know which application, we know which menu option. You can simply type in the question and you can request a phone call or an email. That's one easy way to get help. You can also, if you've got a quick question, you can actually log on to customer support and you can chat with an operator. So you would just say, get help now, and you can actually chat. You would pick which application, and then you would chat with a support rep that's familiar with that product. Another option is you can certainly call us and we call you back. The first thing I thought we would do is, let's take a look at all the information you can track on your code violations. Lots of ways to look it up. I can look at ones that are cleared. I can look up for a specific case number. I can do it by a certain address, an owner, or by officer. So lots of ways to search the database. And if you know just a little bit of information, it'll do partial searches. Think of this as the screen that you're going to populate as you get the phone calls, or as you get the letters, or as you walk around and you see issues. The system will create a case number. You can have it automatically create the case number. A lot of people will have year and then number. You're going to be able to use the calendar on when did you receive this. So it brings up a calendar. We also have different statuses. You might have one that's new, one that's assigned, inspection, no violation. So these are all the different steps within your process, and we can pull reports based on status. You can also go ahead and assign it to somebody. So if you've just got one inspector, you can just have the one initials, but you can certainly have, multiple people that you can track. We are going to track the original date. If you go ahead and schedule the date right here, this is going to show up on a reminder. You can run a report for all the code violations that you need to inspect for a certain date, and then the actual date that you did inspect it. So let's take a look. If we get a phone call, I can first search that database of names and addresses. So once again, if your name's in the system, it's going to bring it down so that you don't have to keep keying in that name. Now, you don't have to have a contact to record it, but if you do, we track that information. Now, when you do get the complaint, once you type in the address, we're going to look at the land management module and we're going to know who's that owner. So if you've got data from the county, you're going to be up to date and have the latest information so you know exactly who to send the letter to. And you can describe what it is and you can have unlimited notes. Down below you can see violations. We've got the ability, if you have one case number with multiple violations, you can track each one separately, or you might have one case number, one violation. But you're going to have a drop-down list on all of your different violations, and once again, this is unlimited text. You're going to also have a status, and you can define what types of statuses, and we can pull reports based on status. So whatever it is in your process, that's a table that's set up in the beginning. Where you see notification, reinspect, and correction, those column headings are user definable. So think about this is where it is in your process. The main functionality of the code enforcement is creating the letters and the notices. So if I wanted to do a notification, I can come up here and I can print, and what we do is all the letters and notices are actually Word documents, and you can pick and choose who you want to send in which letter, and we do a mail merge. It's going to merge in data from the database so that it merges in, perhaps what the violation is or the description or who it came from. So those are different fields that we can tag in those letters that we do a mail merge. And if we've got on that property record the occupant, we can send that, also the owner. So you could send 2 letters or 1 letter. But you're going to be able to also have different codes for your notification, your reinspect, and your correction. And all of these, like I said, are unlimited text so that you can track that information. Let's say somebody sends a picture or a letter. You can actually attach that document, and once it's attached, there's going to be a paper clip. You can have unlimited attachments. So you might even want to attach your report, so you could do that as well. So you've got one screen with unlimited attachments all here. Now once it's in the system, you're going to be able to then keep track. We also have another way to get your complaints in the system. Your constituents can actually go to your website, and they can actually, this would be your website, and you would have a link on your website where they could actually fill out a form, and this would be just for your municipality, and you can download that to your Assist database so that you're not having to re-key in that information. So 2 ways: one, you key it in; the other one is you can have your constituents do it on your website. Now reports, we have a couple here. One is you're probably going to want to run this complaint list maybe for the council meeting. You might want to know how many new complaints have you had within the last 30 days. You could be very specific within a time period, or leave it blank and grab them all. So it's going to keep unlimited history. You could even pull out just certain statuses. I only want my new, or maybe you only want to see the reinspect corrections. Or maybe you want to exclude the cleared or include the cleared violation. So depending on how you want to see this report, you pick and choose. Once I do select that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to grab all of them here, not just the new. And on one screen, you're going to have a report with all of your violations. And like all of our other Assist applications, you can actually email this document. You can put it in Word, or you could put it in Excel. You could print it to a PDF. So all of our reports have that capability. So this might be one you may want to send to the council members to let them know what's happened. Now we also have the ability to run your inspections. You could do through a certain date, or leave it blank and it's going to grab them all. But this is going to give you your to-dos. You're going to have the complaint number, the date, the address, the owner, and what the violation is. So, and then you'll come back and update the database on what happened. So it's going to allow you to keep track of that. Inquiries, this is the exact same inquiry that you get if you look at it, if you know the name or the address, but you can search the same information in the code database. The big difference is this is look but not change. As you can see here, there is an attachment. It's a picture of the property. If I want to look at it, I just double click. So if you've got access to this, you can see the attached documents. Now tables, this is one of our easier applications to set up. In the configuration, as I mentioned, You can have different corrections, you define it. One thing that I didn't point out, and I'll go back to that screen, is you do have the ability, if you want to directly invoice from the code enforcement to our AR module. So if you had to go mow, you may want to send an invoice. This is also where you define how you want that number, if you want it to automatically create. Now, under code maintenance or correction codes, these are tables that you set up. It's your terminology. You can have as many. It's very easy to add new. We do have unlimited text on the code and also on the description. So you can have a lot of verbiage in there. And remember, we can use this when we do the mail merge. So these are documents. And this is also just where those Word documents, the path on where they're located. But it's really easy. If a letter needs to change, you're changing it in Word versus some complicated letter generator. We use Microsoft Word. And as I mentioned, I want to go show you really quick where you can actually, if you did want to invoice, we do track this and you can post this to the AR module. So very easy. It works with all the other Assist applications. If you'd like a quote or if you'd like to learn more, please contact us. And thank you for your time today.